Hi!
I let you do it this time. I let you run the pod.
I usually just scream something
Well,
right
you
away.
kind of did. You said a word, but it was basically a scream.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little more sensical than usual, at least. Welcome to Virtual Homework Podcast.
Yeah, we're the pod boys. 2 peas in a pod. Pod boys.
I'm a pod man. You called me D-boy earlier. I am D-man. Thank you very much.
Isn't a D-boy like a drug dealer?
Duffel bag boy.
Lil Wayne?
Yeah. It's a good song.
This is Virtual Homework Podcast,
Yeah, I already said that.
where we talk about your virtual homework that you're going to have in the fall semester, since all classes are
Forcibly going back
online.
to school, whether you like it or not.
Oh, shit. That's not what I meant. Well, anyway, theme song.
What's good, man? It's your boy Juicy J, man. Shout out to Virtual Homework Podcast.
Yo, what's up, guys? This is...
We gotta do a greeting at least 3 times so we can cut out like the best one.
One day we're just gonna have a podcast that's like 35 minutes of just us saying, "Yo, what's up, guys?" And it's gonna be
What's
really
up,
good.
guys? Welcome to the fucking thing.
All right. Well, this is a virtual homework.
What did we play today? What did we play today, Sam?
Well, we played Papers, Please, but before we get into that, I have a little bit of follow up. So we like to play a game, but usually we don't actually get to finish it. Did you play? I don't know why I'm asking. Did you play? You played a little bit more of The Witness, right? Let's get into that a little bit
more.
more.
Of The Witness.
Yeah, so this was a little bit of a unique situation for the Virtual Homework Podcast. After the podcast where we discussed The Witness, Dana actually played through the entire game. I was sitting there through it, watching him on Twitch, a little bit on Discord, helping him out, but mainly just watching him play it. I enjoyed the game, but I feel like the game only got better over time.
Yeah, I definitely 100% agree. Because, like, in the beginning, I was just like, Like, the more and more I played it, like, the more I just fucking loved it. And it was a blast sitting there with you, just, like, solving shit. This is genuinely a good streaming game, I think. Like, if, like, see your favorite streamer fucking, knock his head against this shit, I think that'd be really fun to watch.
The one thing I really regret when I was talking about this game on the podcast last week is that I said, this is probably a stupid speedrun. I watched the speedrun, and it was legitimately, like, super... So, like, we mentioned, like, oh, you could do a lot of these puzzles from super far away. And, like, they're literally, like, doing these puzzles, like, you can't even see the puzzle, and they're solving these complicated puzzles in, like, 2 seconds. It's actually really, really cool to watch, and it's really optimized. So, I recommend watching the speedrun if you played this game. I've done a complete 180 in that regard.
I actually never... I should have watched this speedrun. I don't know why I didn't. I think it's because I still have some puzzles left. I didn't want it to spoil it, but, I mean... I don't think I'm going to go back to it. Like, I got everything I needed to out of it. Top 3 game for me easily, but I think I got what I needed out of it.
Yeah, it's actually a 15-minute run, like the intended way to beat it, not like a glitched way or anything like that.
Are there glitches in it and stuff, though?
If there are, honestly, I couldn't tell because it was so fast-paced. But you said top 3. You originally rated this game a 9 out of 10. Would you still say that, or would you
I guess it would be a 10 out of 10, because it's like people say, like, oh, nothing's good enough for a 10 out of 10, but, like, I don't know, like, probably still, like, a 9 or 10, like, it's in there.
Damn.
there.
Well, you would think we played The Witness 2 weeks in a row, but instead we played a game called Papers, Please, which is actually super popular, and you probably know what it is.
Glory to Aristoka.
I will say, though, tough act to follow, considering we've literally done nothing except jack off The Matrix, The Witness.
Jack off? Yeah, all I did this entire week was jack off to The Matrix. It's fucking Neo flying around.
The Witness, The Matrix, same thing. You said you scrambled to pick this game. You scramble in general to pick games.
I do.
As opposed to me, the intellectual with
you have like lists of like
long.
Super like well thought out games. Like, this game right here is a classic. This has been on my list, and I'm just like, fuck it. I play the same MMO for a decade.
My list is literally like looking at a game and be like, okay, whatever, maybe. We played Papers, Please this week, which is a really unique, really I'm gonna go ahead and say it, good indie game.
Yeah.
Made by one person apparently. It's got catchy music, and by music I mean 2 tones.
It's like
But you basically play the role of a passport border patrol agent in a, I guess, communist country, totalitarian state, and you let people into the state or out of the state. There is a semblance of a plot. I got about halfway through the game. I think I'm at like day 16 or something like that. You need to let as many people as you can per day in, so your family doesn't starve. But it gets more and more complicated every day. You start in, and you're just allowing people with certain passports in. Then it's, you need a certain passport and an ID card. Then you need an entry permit. And you have to make sure every single thing on these documents are impeccable. It gets to the point where it's kind of a headache. The reason why I stopped playing...
It becomes too much.
Yeah, it's honestly just too much. And that's the point. I feel like the point of this game is like, it's like a satire of communist states where it's like, there's complicated regulations that don't actually solve anything.
It's like supposed to be, it's intentionally much of a headache to show how difficult it is, for foreign nationals to get into like a communist country. Because basically this is like, it's a comparison to like communist Russia in the early 80s. There's like terrorist attacks on other countries outside of it, so they're limiting people who are coming in. So the country that you work for, Aristoka, they're starting to allow people in, which you are the guy who basically says who and who doesn't come in. And like you said, there are little plot points. There's like a shadow cabal. There's like some random old dude who keeps trying to break in.
I like that old dude. I let him in. Did you let him in?
No.
You didn't let him in? He gives you like a little coin. Spoilers, but I don't know what the coin does. He's my bro. Old man.
But I mean, it's, I think, like I said, I think it's intentional to be a headache to go through all these things to match, like make sure the dates match, make sure the country they're coming from matches like the issuing city with all this stuff. It's a very unique game, that's for sure. There's really nothing like it.
Yeah, there really is nothing like it. Like, first of all, what game do you play a border patrol agent? Secondly, like, which game do you like deal with like looking at documents and like seeing if they're falsified? It was really well made in that I got into a rhythm and like I actually was able to understand like what I needed to do and what I didn't need to do, at least until it got too much. Like, I felt like I could do this without any documentation. It gives you like a book of what is correct. Like, hypothetically, if someone has a fake city of birth and like there's like 5 different countries that they could be coming from, and like each country has a list of cities where a passport could be issued. Eventually I was like, this is a correct city in this one country, and I was like able to, in my mind, to do it. You get into a rhythm and it's pretty cool. But something that's weirdly uncool, like I remember I was going to the options because usually a game will start in full screen, and I hate playing games on full screen. I usually like playing on windowed.
I know where you're going.
Yeah. The third option down, it's like, windowed mode, sure. Sound on. Nudity, and I'm like,
where's the nudity?
Yeah, where's the nudity in this game? And so one of the things in this game is, hypothetically, if you suspect someone of being a terrorist, you can take photos of them, and they're nude photos, but they're very unflattering. It's
they're not like it's not hot.
Yeah, I kind of wish I chose like no nudity in this game. I'll say that much, but I didn't, and I saw a pixelated old fat Soviet penis. So
it's all in a day's work.
It is all in a day's work, but something about this game, I didn't beat it, and I could see myself going back and beating it at some point, just because it doesn't seem that long. It's one of those games where like it. Like I got about half. Long. It is?
There's okay, 20 endings. Like I like briefly before the podcast looked into how long the speed run is. Just like the 19th ending, like the later endings, is like a 3.5 hour speed run. Now imagine, I'm not surprised about that. Now imagine knowing the answers and like plowing through it. Like
the thing about this game, I thought about it from a speedrun perspective, and I don't think it like that 3.5 hour mark doesn't really scare me, just due to the fact that this game is essentially one giant auto scroller. The way that this game works is that you have a single day cycle where you essentially you're timed to get as many people through the door as possible. If you mess up, you lose money, but you get $5 per person you let in correctly or deny correctly. So Yeah, of course, from a speedrun aspect, like this game is going to be relatively long because you can't speed up that day, and
No,
you
it's
actually
gonna
need
be
to
the
get as many
same.
people there as possible.
Yeah, I didn't
So,
really think. Yeah, you're right. It's no matter what, it's going to be long. But just in general, it's not. It's just a long game. I feel.
yeah, so I did look into it. The game takes place over a course of a month, so you have 30 of these cycles. I got to cycle 16,
Nice.
so I could see myself at least beating this once. I don't see myself going back and doing 20 endings. That
I
seems
only
like a
got to
little
cycle 9.
much.
Um,
But this game definitely scratches an itch, and they know they scratch an inch by an inch. They know they scratch an itch by the fact that they have an endless mode as well, where you can basically just do the
yes.
whole
With like the
get
maximum
everyone
difficulty,
in
it gets
or
harder
out.
and harder, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept. There's not really much like it in the world. I think that the art and sound design is actually fantastic for how simplistic it is. Like you said, it has like the best soundtrack of just like 2 notes, but it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Like atmospheric almost, or like the little sound effects, like the noises of the like the bullhorn you yell out of, like the people's voices and stuff like that. It's all very cool, and I like the artwork a lot too.
Well, you know it's atmospheric when they literally make a movie based on this game. They made a short film based on Papers, Please, and you could see it on like the Steam
Really?
store page. But more than that,
I did not know that.
like I knew about this game for years, but I never played it, and the reason I did is because there's a very popular Mega 64 sketch on Papers, Please that I saw that
Yeah.
years ago. I saw it, like 5 years ago. I didn't realize they were like literally taking, like I thought they were just like kind of embellishing on the plot. Like they basically just use the plot points. It's like literally the
No.
same game. I'm like, oh, this makes a lot more sense now. And they literally use the soundtrack, and I was pretty happy
Yeah.
about that. It made the video better to me. But like it made me excited to play it, and I enjoy that video more. So I'm happy you chose this.
Is there anything you didn't like about the game?
I guess it was intentional, but it got a little overcomplicated.
Yeah. There are some times when you're like, you spend all this time thinking, oh, I got it. And then that anxiety that hits when a guy goes past and you hear that, like, of, like, the sheet coming up saying that you fucked up. Like, that gave me, like, horrible anxiety, like, just waiting for the guy to get past the checkpoint so I don't have that. Cause
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
I
a
messed up.
5-second window. And like
Um,
even if you're pretty confident, you still have that like, oh, I probably messed up. And the one thing I feel
dude.
like I learned this from The Witness as well. I learned this about myself. Like when it comes to puzzle games, I'm not gonna say this is necessarily a puzzle game. It has some puzzle aspects. It's kind of like a detective game almost. But
Yeah.
I just felt that like at a certain point my brain shuts down and I just don't want to do the puzzle. It was the same way in The Witness where it's just like, this is too complicated. I'm just gonna go away. I literally shut out the game when they added like a 7th thing that I had to inspect. I'm just like, I don't feel
Yeah.
like doing this anymore.
Like, it's not necessarily repetitive. It's just like you said, it just gets a little overbearing. I mean, it's not bad, like, in that sense. It's just like you just need to take a break and then come back and then you're like, okay.
Yeah, so I'm
this
not
is
even gonna
fun.
say it's a flaw in the game. I'm gonna say it's just a flaw in my character. Getting deep
So
into this.
I definitely don't think this is a all play in one sitting type game. Probably more along the lines of, maybe take a couple afternoons to play through it casually, because your head might do the big hurt.
The big hurt. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I would definitely consider it a good game. I might come back to it. I mean, the way that this podcast works, like have you been playing Psychonauts? Yeah.
No, I do. I played like fucking 30 hours of The Witness. Like I'm like gamed out for a minute.
Yeah. So the way
Like,
that
my brain is literally melted.
we want to play these games, we just can't. It's life. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. Probably rated a 4 out of 10, 2 out of 5.
Yeah. Wait, 4 out of 10 too. Isn't that what that fucking
Yeah.
reporter rated The Witness?
Yeah,
Is
so
like,
I was just like looking into reviews of The Witness because like I wanted to see like if it was truly a good game or not, because I can't decide for myself. I need other people to validate
I
my
need other
opinions.
people's opinions. Yeah.
But I just came across like one like a review like by Game Weekly or like some random game
Some
magazine
random
that like
publication.
is popular enough to be on Metacritic. I'm like, oh, they gave it a 4 out of 10. Why? And like they just praise the game and there's too hard though. 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
It upset
It's like
me.
the same people that did, like, I think we were talking about it, like that Cuphead run where they couldn't get past like the fucking tutorial.
Sometimes if a tutorial is not good enough, you should rate the game like a 5 out of 10. That's just how it is.
No, I think they gave the game like 1 out of 10 because they couldn't beat the tutorial. Because I think a lot of these journalists are like they're not gamers; they're just like journalists who review.
They're
games.
just journalists who couldn't get a hard hitting journalism job at
Yeah,
New
so
York
they like
Times.
review games.
Or they did get a job in New York Times, but they got in the game division.
That'd be pretty sick.
I would like that. Besides the imminent threat to my profession, but like I feel like there are just so many reviews that are
You can single out one that is annoying or wrong or like just stupid or however you want to put a spin on it. You know,
they're just like inconsolable, and like you address the points that they're talking about, and they're like, it's whatever, because like they're just trying to get views. Like the one that I always think of, and maybe this is a bad one to say, oh, they're just trying to get views because this came out kind of before the internet was huge, but Game Informer giving Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door a 6 out of 10 because
yeah, when that game's a masterpiece.
yeah, they said, oh, the dialogue's bad, it's not a good story, and I'm like, that's like literally the one thing people praise, and like the person has gone on to like, I think they did eventually say that they were wrong, but like I remember reading interviews with them and they're just like, it's bad. What do you want me to say? It's like, oh well. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just pissed about the Paper Mario getting 6 out of 10 from Game Informer. I remember.
Did you actually get like Game Informer, like the actual magazine?
I never was into Game Informer, but I knew a lot of people into Game Informer, and like they were super like into it. Like everyone I know with Game Informer like collected Game Informers and had them for like multiple years.
I still have all my Nintendo Powers. I have all my Game Pros. I have my Game Informers, my PC Weeklies, and stuff like that. Those magazines were fucking dope. Like this was like I guess like pre-internet time.
This was like more advertisement than page, like in a magazine.
Yeah. It was just like 90% like passion of people who play the shit out of these games, review them. Like that's how I found out about games like Rival Schools or like even like other games coming out that were just like really cool.
I mean, I remember Nerdy Nestor at least, right?
I don't know what the fuck that
Isn't like Nintendo Power that like comic with the dude Nestor?
I don't remember that. I just remember if you have all the Nintendo Powers next to each other, it makes like an image on the what's the word? The spine.
It transports you back to 1901. When
except mine are all bent and it sucks.
How do you just from like storage?
Yeah.
Sucks to be you. I only
they're worth money. They're like worth like $8 a piece, and I have like the first like 200.
Yeah, I remember like I saw like something on eBay where like they were trying to like sell the first and last ones, and they were going for like a decent chunk, and I was actually surprised about that. I only had one. I had the Dreamcast official magazine, which ran for like a year. So like
you were like super Dreamcast fan. You were the kid that had Dreamcast. I didn't know a single kid that had Dreamcast.
I mean, the thing is, so all those Dreamcast magazines came with demo discs, which are apparently like relatively rare. Like I could probably sell those for a decent chunk, but no, these are my demo discs. Okay.
Dude, I could do an entire podcast on how good demo discs were back in the day at advertising.
So like they were also just like a good value of I guess technically free. Like I remember I played San Francisco Rush 2049 stunt mode, which had like unlimited. I literally played it for like hours just on the demo,
like off the demo disc, free,
and
right?
like I didn't even need to buy the game. I was just like this stunt mode's dope. I don't want to race, so let me play the stunt mode.
I remember getting from Game Pro. I got it was like one of those PlayStation monthly shits. And it had Ridge Racer on it, and that game is fucking awesome.
It's Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer.
And then I went to Blockbuster, and then I asked for it, and they're like, "Oh, I've never heard that game," and I was really, really upset, and I started crying.
Crying in a GameStop. Loser.
Or Blockbuster, sorry.
Or did I think you actually said that, and I just said GameStop because.
Do you remember like EB Games or like
no.
They had Funko Land?
No.
Dude, Funko Land. That was the shit.
I think I'm a little...
You're too young.
I shopped at Toys R Us. Remember the game section at Toys R Us?
Yeah, they post those pictures on Reddit, and they're like, do you remember the game section at Toys R Us? And then people are like, oh, yeah, I do. 10,000 uploads.
That could have been me, but instead
Did you like get like a massively upvoted post like a little while ago?
Yeah, but it was like some gaming controversy regarding Hearthstone. boring stuff. Blizzard being the worst company alive. It's fine. I will never stop supporting them because I'm in a toxic relationship. Just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally... You just summed up why the gaming community is fucking profitable. I don't think anyone enjoys any game they play. Like League of Legends players hate the game, World of Warcraft players hate the game, Hearthstone players hate the game, Dota players hate their game. CS:GO players hate
the Witness
game.
players
Fortnite
love
players,
their game though.
They do, unless you rate it 2 out of 10 because it's too hard because you have the big dumb.
Want to know? Speaking of things I hate, like just the worst things alive. You might know, you're familiar. So 100 Gex just released a new album. They're the worst band alive. Like everything they make is just like terrible trash that like no human should listen to. Okay, so
you see me tweet out at like 3 a.m. how much I'm enjoying it, so now you gotta ride.
So yeah, like there's this band called 100 Gex and they've never released a good song ever. And so they just released a new album and I listened to it and of course, like track record, nothing they make is good, and they're just about the worst band alive. Anyone who listens to them, I don't understand, and it makes me upset that there are people who would listen to this trash, for lack of a better term.
Me. Okay, so get to the point.
No, that was the point. We're done.
Oh, fuck you. Their new album is fucking sick.
I haven't listened to it.
There's like speedcore in it. There's like they call it hyperpop because it's just like. It's insanity. I love it.
I mean, the small amount of truth there is that, like, you were like, oh, you should really listen to 100 Gex. I think you'd like them. And then I listened to, like, Smash Me with a Mallet in my mouth hole or whatever it's called. And it was okay.
The new stuff.
How do you like your favorite band's only okay? Straight up.
It's okay. Not so something I taught myself many, many years ago. Not everybody
likes 100 Gex.
Likes everything that you do. There will be people that like and or dislike things that you like and or dislike, and that's okay. They're just little bitches, and you should just get beyond it instead of, being pissed off.
The thing that
because I spent years just being pissed off at the internet, man. Like, I'm over it.
The thing that I taught myself, like, around... It was like 2006 or 2007-ish, like when I was like on all these PHBB forums, just being a little shitter, and like people were just responding to me, like telling me like really, like, oh, you're annoying, you should leave our community, like, oh, like you're worthless, all that stuff. Like the thing that I really solidified during this time is that anyone who listens to 100 Gex doesn't deserve a platform.
I hate you so much.
That's
speaking of being annoying on forums. So I was on this forum. It's called hell.obwebsite.com. It was pink and had strobing lights on it. And what happened was I got shadow banned from it. I didn't realize. So every message I post, it was just like random like Pikachu noises. So I was like trying to have conversations with people for over a year, being 12 years old, not realizing that I was just saying Pikachu. And that's all anyone else ever saw.
So, like, the context for this is I remember I just, like, finished editing our last episode, and we, like, talked about, like, forums we had, like, over 10,000 posts on, and you're like, oh, yeah, hell dot whatever, I had, like, 12,000 or 16,000 posts. How many of these were Pikachu noises?
Probably, like 5,000.
Oh, no. Oh, that's a lot of thousand. That's like, oh, no. I'm sorry, man. It happens.
That was actually linked to like some old Flash animation. I miss Flash animation, dude. Like, did you ever get into that like back in the day?
Well, I never like got into like making Flash animation, but Homestar Runner is one of my favorite things on the internet. And like that's not like a controversial opinion. Like if you watched Flash animation back in like 2003, you were a Homestar Runner fan. That's just how it was.
That or like Newgrounds and like some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean like the thing about Newgrounds is I feel like they were too edgy for their own good. It's just like
oh yeah,
no matter.
That was the entire internet at the time. It was like knife to the face.
Or it's like you accidentally watch like Chuck Norris jizz on everyone in the Ultimate Orgy.
Yeah.
it's just how it is. You don't seek out that video. It just so happens you're on Newgrounds and like 3 clicks away you're.
Let me tell you, some of those hentai dating sims, like those
changed your life. Those made you the man you are today.
I just wish that with the growth of the internet and like ad revenue and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of the Flash artists got left in the dust. And I feel like I really wish they could have gotten monetized better and reimbursed better for their work. Because the amount of work that goes into like those 5-minute animations that some of those people, that's like months of work literally. And they literally made like nothing off of it. And even to this day, they make like nothing off of it.
Well, I mean, so I've always been a proponent of like trying to find different like business model. Like I don't know why I'm saying like I've always been a proponent of this, like because I haven't like put this into action, but I feel like a lot of these people take it the wrong way. I mean, I understand. Like I wish YouTube as well had an algorithm that supported animation, but it's just not going to be the case. I feel like people rely too much on algorithms to support themselves. Like you actually see a lot of these animators that you are literally talking about, these people who were actually making bank when YouTube had an algorithm that was based on view count instead of minutes watched. They've gone on Patreon. They've gone on sites that like go directly to their fans, and they're getting supported that way. And I think that's probably a better way to do it with merch.
Absolutely. Because if you have good content, people are going to support you.
Yeah, so I'm honestly a little bit proud. Like I wish they were making money with YouTube, but I feel like people have to unshackle themselves from the oppressors, okay? From the YouTubes of the world. Like if your entire business model is based on an algorithm, which I know I'm able to like say this because I am not famous from a YouTube perspective, even though let's just say our Psychonauts video is doing pretty well, triple digits.
Dude, it's going viral.
It's going viral.
It's like 160 views.
We have like 190 or something right now, which is.
Why is it going up? Like, where's it coming from? You can actually check to see like where the views
it's
are
like
being from.
it's like recommended content or something like that. It's so
that's cool.
It's cool. Thank you, YouTube algorithm. All praise the algorithm. We should follow the algorithm.
We were just
till
shitting
the day
on it
we
like
die.
2 minutes ago, and now we're like
live for the algorithm. Put the algorithm in your mouth and suck. But anyway. Take it away, Dana. Do one of those patented Dana rants.
I think it kind of like just in the same kind of subject matter of what we're going. It kind of sucks that like the internet is literally like 4 websites. It's like Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube, and like that's all like any like major content is really aggregated to nowadays.
Yeah, the problem with Reddit is that it's like 100 websites, but it's just one website.
Yeah,
it ruined the internet for me. I just go on Reddit.
Toxic forums and or groups that shouldn't be there anymore.
Like, the thing about Reddit, speaking of toxic, is I've kind of noticed this over the past couple weeks because we've been in a situation where there's a lot of anger, a lot of like anguish. Honestly, like we're both in video game communities, and there's some terrible stuff going on right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff.
I my heart goes out to like the people who were affected by people who literally sexual assault is terrible. I don't think
Absolutely.
That's, of course. And we're seeing that like it's affecting obviously the victims, but like it's just affecting communities overall. Like people are angry, people are upset, people are sad, people are disappointed, but people are able to have conversations and just be frank and like actually like understanding, empathetic, except for on Reddit. Every single time I go on Reddit and like try to have a conversation, someone says something, and then instead of someone just being like, you know what, I disagree, I think it should be this way, it's like, you are a fucking idiot. You are a douchebag. I hope, like, they don't do death threats, but it's like, your life is meaningless. And
also, I'm going to find out where you live, who you work for, and I'm going to,
For some reason, Reddit, and like, I guess it's based on the fact that like people on Reddit think they're smarter than people. Like, they just feel so superior to like others on the platform that they instantly go as aggressive as possible. It's crazy to me.
I mean, that's like from old school Reddit though, like when it used to like people used to be Reddit small community, but now Reddit's like what, like the 4th biggest website in the universe,
it's like 7th in the US, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. Reddit has an anger problem, for lack of a better term.
Pretentiousness and whatnot.
Speaking of pretentious, actually, this is a talking point I have. If you had to get a doctorate in anything, what would you get?
Money.
You can't get a doctorate in money, you silly goose.
I don't know.
I can see you as doctorate in philosophy, the next Aristotle.
Beanology.
What do you say?
Beanology.
You can't get
like
beanology.
Bean and like I want to be a bean engineer.
Just the perfect bean.
just making like the perfect beans, the perfect tasting.
So not a philosopher, not like the next Aristotle.
I just don't have interest in that stuff, to be honest. Like, because I'll just sit there and think too much about things, and then just get like either pissed off or like, what's the point?
You know, like
Isn't it like what?
you know, like the statue of the thinker,
Yeah,
just him really angry, but still in the thinking pose.
yeah. All those statues have their penises hanging out.
That's a requisite for philosophy.
This is true.
Imagine
You must,
just sitting on a rock nude and just like in a thinking pose.
I can do that. Yeah, I can think like that.
I mean, I probably could think like that, but like be a nude on a rock? Come on.
Like nude in Iraq or
Well,
on
both.
Iraq.
Nude in Iraq, I would rather not just be like randomly like I don't like
Nude on an Iraq.
I'm
Iraq.
aware of cities in Iraq, but I don't know anything about Iraq. Like, I feel like it would be bad. I feel like I should not be nude there. But anyway, also just on a rock, just like on a boulder. It's not a good look.
No,
You're just chilling and you're nude on a boulder.
dude, it is so fucking hot. I'm sorry. I like have my air on it. I'm like sitting here like sweating fucking balls right now.
That's like the one actual issue I have in my current new place is like there's air circulation issues, and I think it's also probably because I have a billion pieces of technology that are just heating everything up. I'm just like,
Yeah, you have like a game room you're in fucking right now. You're like, is that like your own personal office or like?
office/bedroom.
So you have your bed in there?
Yeah, but you can't see it because that's
Is that
top
where the
secret
magic
information.
happens?
We're not on MTV Cribs, but if we were, I would say those words.
We gotta have virtual homework podcast, Cribs edition.
So virtual home tours.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, this is my mom's room.
That's the way to do it. She's like in there and pissed. It's like, please
Yeah,
stop filming.
I was gonna have her like one time. I told her, I'm like, hey, like later, just come in and just start screaming into the mic or say some crazy shit, or be like, Dana, you have to go to bed now. But it never happened.
I told you to take it away before, right? With do one of those Dana rants.
There's really nothing I'm pissed off about right now.
Just
I'm in a good mood.
go, 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 go,
Um,
go, 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 go.
So I went to the grocery store the other day, and they moved everything around, so I had to spend all this time finding stuff that I didn't know where it was. Like there used to be in the back, and now it's like in a middle thing, and it took forever to find, and it was kind of inconveniencing. That's about it. We talked about how The Witness was on sale for fucking $9 after it cost $1 million.
I'm gonna sue Steam for $70, $60.
That's why I hate sales. And like honestly, before I buy any game, I'll look at has it been on sale.com or whatever that website is.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The issue is that we're on a time crunch. If I
We
didn't get
do.
you this game, you wouldn't have played it. We'd have to play it this week, and that's unfortunate.
I got that game like 2 weeks in advance. Did you say like the next game we're playing is like on sale right now?
Kinda, but at the same time, you're on sale.
So Sam has been talking about some like game. He's like, "Oh man, we're gonna play this game. It's coming out, and he won't tell me what it is." And like, so we were gonna like have like 2 weeks in a row of like different like schedules and stuff over this. Like, I'm still like, what is it?
All right, big reveal. That's my drum roll. It was pretty terrible. It's Garfield Kart. It's not. It's really not.
I mean, I would play the shit out of Garfield.
I got Garfield Kart. I actually legitimately did get Garfield Kart on Steam sale. It was like
Can we have
50
a
cents
virtual homework versus?
instead of $5. It's probably one of the worst kart games I've ever played. It's not the worst because I do own Hello Kitty Cruisers.
I played what's it called? That fucking what's that snowboarding game you got for me?
Trickstyle. I saw you played it.
Not the biggest fan.
It wasn't as good as the ad I saw in the Dreamcast magazine.
So the thing is, you could be in first place and run out of time.
Oh no! Oh no! I didn't.
And I couldn't.
I didn't process that
fi-
information when you said it.
I couldn't figure out like how to do tricks and shit. Like you could literally just spin. That's it. And it was like get 15,000 points to proceed. And I was just like spin.
Well, there you go. This is a 2-for-1. This is
That's a
Papers Please
Trickstyle review.
and Trickstyle. I guess I can never put that on the podcast ever. Wow, how dare you?
Was that like your game next week?
No,
And now
probably
you're just
not.
gonna
It actually
fuck
was
us
on
up?
the list though. You ruined
it really?
everything. You ruined everything. Speaking of
I'm sorry.
ruin though, What's the corona update?
They just announced that Florida is the epicenter of the world of coronavirus.
Chill.
It's like one in 3 people in Florida have coronavirus, and they're opening Disney World.
Did you see the trailer?
It's like dystopian.
No, they deleted the tweet. Because you saw like the one from like Disney Jobs or whatever this morning, right?
Yeah.
They deleted that
people
tweet.
People were making edits of it with like people dying and stuff.
No, they put like the Us like horror movie like trailer music. Like they literally had to delete that tweet because of how terrible it was. And that's hilarious to me how tone deaf they could be. Like Disney California is not opening. They're like, yeah, it's a little too early. And like you would think like Florida, given all their shit, like I understand.
Do you know what all that is though? That's just them saying like, oh, there's less regulations. We actually don't give a fuck about people. We're just not opening up in California because the government won't let us.
True, but like, yeah, Disney's evil. Who would have known? Like Disney, yeah, they make a lot of money from their theme parks being open, but like Disney has so much money. Is it worth it to like do this? Like that's my question. Like on half capacity,
off movies right now.
I mean, people like legitimately want to go to Disney World, which is the weird thing to me. Like I'm just like maybe America deserves to burn. But I feel like given their amount of money in the bank and the fact that like people saw this and thought it was a literal horror movie trailer, like they could wait a little bit. They don't need this open.
It's literally the problem is that all these companies, they don't give a fuck. If the state's going to let them open, they're going to be open. I don't believe there's a single company out there right now that actually cares. Like, oh, we're doing this. We're in this together. It's like, no, if they could be open, they would. They would sacrifice lives for it. Like, they don't give a fuck.
Jesus. That is a scathing review of corporate America by Mr. Dana over here. Mr. Dana. Call him Dr. Dana because he's going to get that beanology degree.
Because you called me a boy earlier, and I am a man.
You're Mr. Boy.
Mr. Boy.
Wow.
Mr. Boy.
What even is... What are you trying to say here?
Mr. Boy.
I can't continue this.
Okay.